a fascinating story, ladies and gentlemen. A Republican candidate in California just won his seat for the state Senate in California in the district with 60% Hispanics and a 22-point Democratic advantage. Let's walk through this because it's truly edifying. Tony Lee at Breitbart. A Republican in California won a state Senate seat in a district in which Democrats have a 22-point advantage and is 60% Hispanic. Andy Vidak, the Republican farmer, won the special election runoff for the 16th District Senate seat when his opponent, Democrat Leticia Perez, a Kern County supervisor, conceded on Wednesday. Vidak, the Republican, had 54% of the vote to Perez's 46% of the vote. The Democrat had initially conceded 2 months ago when the special election was held, but a recount put Vidak under the 50% threshold. See how they try and steal these elections originally? That was needed to avoid a runoff, and Perez took back her concession nearly a week after the initial election. So the seat became vacant when the Democrat, who won the seat in 2010 by 21 points, resigned to work for Chevron. Democrats thought, especially with a Hispanic female candidate, the seat would be a shoo-in for them. The veto-proof supermajority Democrats have in the state Senate is now imperiled by this one victory, this Republican, Vidak, in this overwhelmingly Democrat and Hispanic district. As Breitbart had previously reported, though, Vidak, a working-class candidate, resonated with working-class Hispanics in the district, who also saw how coastal California elites were not putting their bread-and-butter interests first. He ran broadly on the bifurcation of California, the coastal liberal elites versus the valley folks. And on a more local level, Republican Vidak's theme of fish versus farmer resonated with Democrats in a district where the unemployment rate is 15% and as high as 30% in some communities in the district. Vidak reminded voters that liberal environmentalists, in order to protect fish, only allowed farmers to receive 20% of their water allocation, crippling the region's economy. He also stressed that Perez's support in the state's high-speed rail project that would have raised business, farms, and homes in the district. So because she supported the agenda of the coastal elites and Democrat interest groups, Perez was able to raise twice as much money as Vidak, but 16th District voters ultimately rejected her liberal policies. So here's a candidate, a working man, a Republican, who ran against the liberal elite aggressively, who attacked the environmentalists who are destroying this area of the country, who attacked the big spending, the massive spending on this high-speed railway, and he won in a landslide in a district that's 22% advantage Democrats and 60% Hispanic. See, folks, winning elections is not about pandering to ethnic groups. It's not about confusing the conservative message. It's about articulating freedom, articulating private property rights, free market capitalism in a way that resonates with people and that they can identify with. Mitt Romney couldn't do it. John Boehner can't do it. This fellow who ran for the state Senate, Vidak, he could do it. Republicans should be listening to him and people like him, not Carl Rove, not the Bush family, not the panders and the sellouts and all the rest. This is very, very important. And it's very, very important for another reason. I believe this is where a lot of the action is. And if you've been listening to me the last 10 or 11 days, I mean, throughout my career, but if you've been listening especially the last 10 or 11 days, I believe this is where the action is. Here you have a dark blue state Senate district, 60% Hispanic, 22% Democrat advantage, and the Republican won. I believe this can be done all over the country. And there's many reasons for this, because we don't have to go through the RNC. We don't have to go through Mitch McConnell and John Boehner. We don't have to deal with the Roves and the Bush family and so forth. In our home districts, whether our delegates, state representatives running for office, whether our state senators running for office, we can have an enormous influence. And we don't need an enormous amount of money. We just need millions of us. And from the bottom up, the grassroots, we can gain some power back. What's enormously remarkable, and what's also remarkable, is how people ignore it. The states collectively have incredible power. The states collectively have incredible power under Article 5 of the Constitution. The states collectively have the power to rein in the federal government. But we have to have enough states willing to do that. And this is why I say this is something that cannot happen overnight, but it can happen. I mean, in the end, if it can't happen, it's over anyway. But I feel it can happen. As I say, it takes some time. It's going to take work. But here we have the perfect illustration, when this gentleman, Andy Vidak, a Republican farmer, won the special election in the 16th District Senate seat in California in a heavily Democrat, heavily Hispanic district. He's not some wild-eyed liberal. He wasn't taking advice from consultants in Washington, D.C. No. And I'll tell you what's invigorating and exciting about this. Most of the problems we have in our local communities are, as you would expect, the result of liberalism, liberal policies, federal courts, state courts. And these are the things that we can run against, that we can expose and, quite frankly, exploit as district by district, state Senate seat by state Senate seat. We begin to take back some of these states. I mean, the dark blue ones will take a while, but there's purple states out there, states that are recently purple, like Colorado, states that are going purple that can be pulled back, like Virginia. These are states we can win. We can win at the delegate level. And by the way, we do win at the delegate level. We don't need to be myopic. We don't need to beg, oh, U.S. Senator, oh, U.S. Congressman, please, please don't take our guns. Please, please don't do that. Please, we beg you, we write you, I can't stand that anymore. I've had it. Time to dust off Article 5. Time to change the way we think, change the way we talk, change the way we behave.